Oh yeah. What's up? Oh, I got you. I'm really Blueberry here. This is another man for another day. See you later, Shades. Okay, all right. Well, guys, welcome to the first video of the series. Boom! Oh yeah, another series coming at you from Blueberry, and we are going to be cooking. So, it's not really a series, it's a channel, but I call it a series. So, in this series slash channel, we are going to be cooking, and in this first video, this amazing video, we are going to be making chocolate chip cookies, delicious. Now, the reason I decided to make chocolate chip cookies is because it's a family favorite. Everyone in the house, most likely, loves dessert, and chocolate chip cookies are an easy thing to make, and they're right there waiting for you to bake. Because you most likely have all of these super easy ingredients. None of them are really that weird to cook with. So this is just an easy, simple recipe that your family will love. I have experience from my family, as they all love chocolate chip cookies, and they're gone within a few days. And I'll give you a few tips along the way. Let's get started. All right, guys, so the first step to making cookies is the butter. Now, here's a tip for you. When you're making the chocolate chip cookies, right when you start is when you take the butter out. A lot of people are always like, take the butter out for 5 minutes or longer, let it kind of soften, and then it'll mix in easier. But when I make them, I take them out right away. And the reason is because then there's tiny little chunks left of butter, which taste really good when it's made. I mean, that would taste really good, just tiny little chunks of butter in there. Gives it a little extra flavor. So that's my tip. Get it out right before you start. So that's what I'm going to go do. As you can see, I don't have the butter, so I'm going to go get the butter right now. All right, guys, so this recipe calls first for 2 sticks of butter. That's 2 sticks. And I'm going to put them in here. They're nice and cold, just from the fridge, and hard also, but don't mix it yet. Put the butter in, but don't mix it. And the 2 sticks of butter is also 16 tablespoons. So after the butter, we have 2 more ingredients to add before you're allowed to mix. The first one is sugar, plain old white sugar. We're going to take 2/3 cups. So you take a 1/3 cup and fill it up twice and put it in. 1, 2. Perfect. All right, so the last ingredient before we can start mixing, not the last ingredient to the cookie, but the last ingredient before you can mix, is the brown sugar. All right, guys, so brown sugar is basically like sugar, except it has molasses in it. So it changes the color brown, and it makes it very squishy and squishes together. That's the difference. When you press it really hard, it like sticks. So like this. I mean, I don't want to dump it, but look, that's like almost at the ground. So you kind of have to like hit it against the bowl. So again, this is also going to be 2/3. So just remember, you have 2 different types of sugar, brown sugar and white sugar, and they're both 2/3 cups. And that is it. Okay. All right, guys, so now that we have all 3 of those ingredients in the bowl, we are going to start mixing. Now, guys, you want to turn the mixer on low so that the hard butter doesn't go flying out. You want it to kind of like, you're going to see a bunch of big chunks of butter first. So mix it till there's a bunch of like a 1/4 inch maybe, 1/4 inch chunks of butter, maybe a little bit bigger, and then you can move on because it'll slowly get smaller and smaller throughout the process until there's a tiny little piece at the end. Maybe a little bit bigger than a 1/4 of an inch. So this is about done mixing. Yeah. Alright guys, so it is now done mixing, and I am going to show you the bowl so that you guys can see kind of how big the butter chunks are going to be. So I'm going to lower this. Alright. And that's how it looks like, so let's get on to the next ingredient. Alright guys, sometimes you need to relax and have fun. Maybe take a break. We finished step one. Alright guys, so you might want to do this right before you start, or you might want to do it around now. You want to turn your oven on. So I have an option called convection, so if you have that option, definitely use it. If not, set it to 375 degrees. 375. Alright guys, so now that the oven is preheating, we are going to get on to our next step after our first mixing step. So, we have vanilla and eggs. We are going to start the vanilla. So we have pure vanilla extract here. Ooh la la! We have a very big bottle right here. Don't want to drink it, it tastes horrible, but believe it or not, it does add a little extra flavor, so that's why we added just a teaspoon. Adds a lot of extra flavor that you'll definitely want in these cookies. So we have the teaspoon, but save the teaspoon because you'll need it for later. Now that we've added the vanilla, let's add the eggs. Now for the eggs, if you guys are experts on baking, like me, I consider myself an expert myself, I don't know, but you might want to crack the eggs into the bowl itself. Now for beginners, the problem with that is when you crack it in the bowl, you might accidentally let a piece of shell slip in there and not notice, and then someone's going to eat a piece of shell, which is not what you want. So what I'm going to demonstrate, coming out of my handy dandy pocket that has everything, the bowl, that's invisible. So we are going to crack the eggs into the bowl first. This will be easier if you accidentally a shell piece falls in here, you can easily take it out rather than searching this big bowl. So we're going to crack it in here first, search for any eggshells, and then dump it in. Alright, let's get cracking. Alright guys, so as you might know, eggs come from chickens. Why might that be helpful, you ask? It's not helpful. The real reason we're adding eggs is because they kind of help keep things together like glue, I would guess you would say. Maybe super glue, maybe not. But when you put it in the oven, you don't want it to just kind of get in little puddles, liquidy puddles, and float off. You want them to stick together in the cookie form. So that's what the eggs are going to do. They're going to help keep them together. Now that we have the eggs and vanilla in here, we can start mixing again. Cue it up! You can turn the mixing up a little bit higher on this one because there's nothing that's going to fly out at you. Now we have something that kind of looks like it did last time, except it's more liquidy and egg looking. There's still a few tiny butter chunks, which is what we're aiming for. So I'm going to show to you now what it looks like real quick. You guessed it, guys. It's time for level 2 celebration. Back to business. All right, guys. Next up, we have the flour, the salt, and the baking soda. So we want to start with the flour because if you put the baking soda and salt in first, it might kind of dissolve into the mixture and not get in other areas. So you want to put the flour in first so the salt and baking soda fall on top of the flour, and then it'll mix in better. So let's start with the flour, which is down here. So approximately 2 cups of all-purpose flour. this kind of helps to get it less liquidy, you know? Kind of bring it together into the cookie dough. It's kind of the base of the cookie dough here. So now we have the baking soda, which will help it rise a little bit so it's not just a super flat cookie. So one thing you can do with the baking soda to make it not so clumpy, because sometimes when you put it in it gets all clumpy, is my handy dandy pocket sifter. Ooh, look at that, shiny, squeaky. No, so we have a sifter here. Basically what you do, instead of just putting the baking soda in right away, you put it in here and then squeeze, and it'll kind of crush the lumps and put it in. So let's do that right now using the same teaspoon as before I told you to keep. Hope you didn't throw it away, Slash. You know you didn't. You know you didn't. You know you didn't. So this is kind of what it looks like. If you guys can see, if it ever gets stuck on this part right here, you can always shake it a little to get it down. So now that we have the baking soda, let's add some salt, which also calls for a teaspoon, so that's kind of easy to remember. Teaspoon salt and teaspoon baking soda, both on the same step. So we're going to have a teaspoon of salt. This kind of adds a little extra flavor. All right, guys, let's put the salt in. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Save me! It's done. Now it is time to mix the third time, guys. This is amazing. Let's get it queued up. This one you want to start stirring slow so the flour doesn't go poof, 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 poof. Then when it kind of gets mixed in, like now it's kind of mixed in, I'm going to speed it up a little bit and slowly keep speeding it up until it looks more like a dough. Your average dough. So at first it may look like it's not coming together at all, but just keep mixing for a few seconds and it'll all come together perfectly. So I'm going to mix it for a little bit longer here just to get it a little bit more mixed, and that is good. So it is really doughy here. I am going to get a little bit right here. This is how it looks right now. That's pretty good. That looks like dough. You guys know it's time for celebration level 3. What's up, boss? Yeah, I just finished making cookies, so what do you have for me?
I have a sour punch.
Oh, I'm delicious. You'll want to eat me all up time, all gone. No, you won't. Save me, save me. I'm going to eat you first. Yum, 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 yum. No, I'm going to take you all down. Yeah!
Well, that was all good. Back to serious. Ad from Blue Blueberry. Now, if you guys ever need to clean up your house, just ask, "Oh, why'd you do that, Rocky?" Because you're not supposed to tell them. Okay, next step. Don't worry about that. So, all right, guys, our final ingredient is chocolate chips. You can't have chocolate chip cookies without chocolate chips. Boom, it's in 2/3 of the name, which would also be 4/6. That is just too crazy to understand. So let's get to it. You need, the recipe calls for, let's say, about 2 cups of chocolate chips. But for the special recipe, I add maybe another half a cup to a cup extra. And it tastes amazing because when there's only 2 cups, there's like 3 chocolate chips per cookie. But when you add, like, see, I just added 2 cups. Now I'm going to add a little bit extra, like this much extra. So not quite a full cup, but like that. Put it in. Yes, chocolate chips are everywhere, and everybody loves it. Now let's get mixing. Cue it up. Oh, it's already high. Oh. And put it on low so that the chocolate chips don't go screaming at your face. Now it's all one big clump ready to be devoured. So, all right, guys, I almost forgot it's vacation. Parfois.
So, boss, what you got for me today? Oh, today I got saltines. I wake up here later and I survived. I'm a king now. Time goes on. I walked through a village thinking, where's my hat? I don't know. It disappeared a long time ago. But I see my old friend Cookie Dough sitting on the dirt road, and he goes, where have you been? I've been looking for you far and wide. I've searched. He goes up to me, he says, come on, let's finish this. Bake me and eat me. Yes. So I march on to the camera store. I see my old camera there. She go, where have you been? I'm looking for you. You were right there. I've been in the ice all this time, going down the street. Then I waltz in here to get you a giz so we can start this trick up again. And we go, and we march, and we go to the nearest house. Knock, knock, I go, can we use your house? I need to finish this video so my fans can see. We need to finish this chocolatey, chocolate chip cookie dee. Oh! Back to business. So, we're back here, right where we left off, and let's do this. So, we have our chocolatey cookie. And we're going to destroy those teaspoons. You're not supposed to be here. All right. Destroyed. I'm coming for you next. So we have a spoon. Thanks for letting me use your spoon, by the way. So, I don't think they heard me. So let's start. So you take a spoon, start scooping it out, and putting it on a tray. That way, you can cook it in the oven, because you can't just put cookie dough in the oven, because that would not work at all. So I usually do 3 by 5, so 15 on each sheet, but you guys can do whatever you want. When you're done with 2 sheets of cookies, you might have just a little bit extra, so what I like to do is take a smaller pan and make a piece of art. And you don't want to make it too detailed because it'll all thicken out, but you can still make a pretty cool thing, so here we go. I don't even know what I made there, guys, but it's my work of art. I hope you like it. Now we're going to put it in the oven for 10 to 11 minutes. You can always check on them during the 10 to 11 minutes to make sure they're not cooked. And, yeah, let's get it in the oven. Another way that's an easier way to check on them is if you turn on the oven light, you can just quick glance by and see them. Now, let's come back when they're done. So now the timer's going off, so I'm going to get my hot pads ready, and I'm going to go get them out of the oven. So these might be a little too cooked, because as you can see, they don't look cooked, but they might cook a little bit after. So I'm going to take them off right away and put them on a cooling rack. Alright guys, so I'm going to take an oven mitt and a spatula to take them off and get them on the cooling rack. This is so that they don't cook any longer, so they don't burn. Sometimes my family likes to freeze them, so you guys can always do that too. After they cool down a little bit, you can just put them in the freezer
There you have it, chocolate chip cookies, easy. Now is the great time to clean up while you're waiting for them to cool and eat. Don't forget to turn the oven off and have a great day. And don't forget, celebration part 5. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, so awesome. Boom, boom. What do you got for me today? I just finished the cookies for real this time. Oh, you did? Thank you. Squirt, squirt. I'm a dumpling. I'm a dumpling now. Okay, see you guys later. Peace. Now, an ad from Blue Blueberry. If your house is looking like a mess, don't restart. All right, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. It's vacation part 4. So, boss, what do you got for me today? I got, whoa, so that, whoa. I woke up a year later and I survived. I'm a king.